Hi folks, I'm Paul. Welcome back to Recycled Model Railways. So in the last video I mentioned that I needed to get my backside in gear and just concentrate on one project at a time. So here we are. I did say that I'd probably do the cranes. I've done so much of it already, so what I'm going to do on this video is take you through the last back end of finishing them off. So let's get on with it. We'll see you in a second. Now, just before we get started, something I want to say. On the last video, I put on the actual title screen that I wanted some input. So I'm just going to say this for all of you that took the time to watch the video and then took even more time to write your comments. I am very, very grateful. Thank you very much for getting involved, putting some opinions forward, suggestions, etc, etc. I know I've said it before, but for me, the comments section is all about everybody helping everybody, not just me. I mean, obviously I'm the guy asking for it, but the way I look at it is there's got to be some people who watch the video who will read to see what comments are there, and surely some of those people are going to learn something from the comments. There's a lot of guys out there have a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of guys out there who are just happy to give you their opinion on what they think. And I think that's probably the most useful part of any YouTube video, is the community that backs it up. Now granted, I ain't no big channel, I know that. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you've got 4 people or 4,000 people. The simple fact is that the community helps everybody. So I'm very grateful for those of you who took that time to put your comments down. Very grateful indeed. Keep them coming. And for anybody who's watching this that isn't subscribed, stop messing about and press the button. Okay, my daughter keeps telling me I have to do this and I'm not keen on it, but there you go, I've done it. Get the subscribe button pressed, join the community, watch this idiot here mess things up or change his mind every 3 seconds or call himself names when he's not doing it right, and just follow along and learn from all of us together, putting comments down and opinions. Join in, get your comments in, say what you've got to say. Simple as that. So now it is time to get on with the cranes. So as you know, we've got 2. I had one original in a maintenance set and I bought another one. So let's show you where we've got to so far, but we're not finished because I needed to video something of what I'm doing in a second. Right, so I thought I'd just show you, I've got my transfers out. So over here you see the 2 wasp stripes that I've made up myself. They took bloody ages, but I've done it. And then all I did was, once I'd done one, was copied and pasted them onto a Microsoft Word document, and then when it's time I print them onto a waterslide transfer sheet. Over here, this might go on the jib. Let me see if I can pick it up with my numb fingers. Doesn't look like I can. Yes, I can. Right. So, I don't know whether you can tell, but it's got a highlight yellow behind it deliberately with max 25T to go on the jib of the crane. But I've tried this before in the past, and I have a feeling that once this becomes slides off the back end, the yellow will disappear. If it does, then as you can see, I have a multitude of numbers and letters in the BR style. I'll just put it on in white. I've got 2, sorry you can't see them, I've got 2 different crests here because I might use them, but I doubt it. I've got data panels in black, white and red. So the way I look at it is I can't read if there's, I don't think there's even anything on the data panels. I think it's just lines. So we're going to put some data panels on them. Obviously we're going to use one of these to put numbers on. I do have numbers already made, and I did look these up. So can you see that? I can't tell. This was actually two genuine crane numbers that I found online. So the idea was to put the black on the white part here, but if it doesn't work I'll just paint it black and put the white numbers on. We have danger and we have keep clear, which I'm thinking of for the backs of these. Not sure yet which one I'm going to put on, but I think it would be an idea to put one on. And lurking in the background, because I'm going to be doing transfers, is my new set for the shark after I repainted it. So while I'm doing transfers I'll slap them on the shark, and then technically I'll have finished 3 jobs, although I do have to put the transfers on the shark and add some more weathering, because at the moment it's got painted weathering and I want to add some of my favourite Humbrol powders. Not too heavy, but I am going to chuck some weathering powders on it, and then I can then look at it and think, right, I've done my 2 cranes, I've done me personnel wagon, and I've got the shark, and then yeah. Anyway, stop rabbiting on, Paul. Get on with it and put the transfers on, mate. Right, the Triang cranes later became Hornby. So what have I done so far? Well, said I wasn't going to have them all black, and I lied. They are pretty much all black. There's a certain amount of artistic license here from me, namely the yellow backs, these pieces on each end, and the yellow jib and hook. Certain amount of artistic license, I know. So they've been painted. They've got frame date on the bottom. We've cut off the little, they have like a little button, if you like, comes out the side that operates the crane so it'll work. I don't want it to work, it's just going to be on the layout. Might ride around occasionally, but it's not, I'm not going to have it sitting there, and I'm not going to be messing about trying to lift things up with it. So it made them look unrealistic, having these big buttons coming out of each side, so they had to go. We had to put a new chain on here because the old one was broken. Now, on the subject of chain, a while ago I bought some chain from a well-known model railway, I pick my words here so I don't name them because I'm not having a go. A model railway supplier, not Peter's Space, because I know you all think I go there a lot, wasn't them. But I bought some chain and I'm pretty sure I paid £8 for a metre, which, okay, I wasn't bothered. But I realised that it could get quite expensive, and when the chain comes in, it's brass. Well, how often do you see brass chain? So I put my daughter on it, who likes messing about. Our Grace likes to mess about making bracelets and charms and stuff like that, and I said, well, find me some silver chain that looks like this, and I give her the broken piece, and she come back inside 5 minutes. Amazon. So we got 33 feet, which is roughly 10 metres, for £15, delivered next day. The bonus was that it came with little, well, I'll get my hand in shot, little rings so that you can connect the chain if you want, and little clasps. So later in this video I will show you that I made some rigging for the ends of the cranes using the little rings and the clasps, and I think it looks quite good. So there you go, and now you know where to go and buy chain. I think this was £1.99 millimeter or 1.5 millimeter, and it was on Amazon. But anyway, so what else have I done? So we've discussed that. I've painted it up. We've got matte black, yellow, obviously Warren Pallet, framed out on the bottom. I deliberately whited one panel on each side. That may yet change. The reason I did it is because obviously I can only print things in black, and I thought, well, if I put the panel white I can put a number or something else on, and then I think somewhere in my collection of transfers I have some white lettering. But anyway, I'm rabbiting on. What else have we done? You can see here it's got Hornby Buckeye NEMs on. Now they came with metal. It was the old D-link coupling, and it was fastened under here and under here, and in the middle there was a big metal post came down. So it was out with the Dremel with the grinding tool, cut the centre post back, because I already knew that the ones on the sides were, well, they were all the same height, but the problem is that you can't have the middle one the same height because the NEM pocket hits it. And I know that these particular, when I can get it in shot, these particular things here are designed to fit where the Hornby decouplers go. So we cut the centre one down with a grinder, and then stuck this on the top and just super glued it in place, and then stuck the Hornby Buckeye coupler on each end. So it's now been transferred to NEM. I tested it over there on my NEM pocket height gauge, and it's perfect. So anyone looking to take off Hornby D-rings, you can buy these. I don't know where else you can buy them from, but I bought mine from Peter's Spares, and they are specifically to go straight onto the mountain plates of Hornby wagons. They've got the right fastening points here, but as I've just said, if it's a Triang one, you're going to have a post in the middle that you're going to have to cut out, but it doesn't take long. What else? Change the wheels. Typical Hornby plastic wheels, god awful things. However, when you take them out, what you do find is that either side of the axle there's a little bit of a slot, and when you put the Hornby ones in, it's great, they drop straight in. Trouble is, the minute you do that, they fall back out. So for those who are eagle-eyed amongst you, you will see there is a thin strip of plastic down each side, which kind of makes it look a little bit like a running board, but it's not flat, it's actually a U shape. Yeah, if you're with me. And all I've done is literally, I glued it a couple of places in the centre, held it till it set, and then was very carefully applying glue in the ends and holding that on. Being careful, because what you don't want to do is glue your wheels together. Now they were absolute must, they had to go on because these wheels wouldn't stay in. Yes, I could have drilled it out if I could have gotten in and put blind rivets in, or whatever, not blind rivets, shoulder caps in. You can see, look, you see how the wheel moves? No, you won't because you're not shot. If you look there, you can see the wheel moves, but I'm not worried about that because on the track its own weight will press down and keep where I want it. So that was the last bit, wheels and then these boards to keep them on. What have we got left to do? Right, well, the next phase is fairly straightforward. I mentioned previously that I've made up some of my own wasp stripes, and I made them a little bit bigger than they need to be because I don't know what size I'll actually want. Sorry, I don't know what size I'll want for the back of these, so they are a little bit bigger than they would have been. So we're going to be applying transfers today. We're going to put the wash stripes on. I've got some little signage to go on the trucks here that just says danger. I need shed code on 51L because that was the shed code for where I am. And then some data panels and stuff like that. So basically you're going to watch me, not step by step, but I don't want the video to go on forever. I'm going to put all my transfers on today, and then I'm going to weather them a bit. Bear in mind that these cranes would have to be in pretty good condition because for safety if nothing else. So I'm not going to weather the living daylights out of them. You know, we're not looking at something that looks like that, which is an old GWR coach that's been repurposed, that's probably 50, 60 years old when it was this. So we're not going to that extent of weathering, but we are going to weather them up a little bit, make them look a little bit more realistic. And then the last thing we'll do is chuck a coat of matte varnish on, put a little bit of gloss black over the axles to depict some oil. Up here around the jib ends and round here I've got some oil stain. Actually I might use oil stain on there just to give that appearance of grease, oil, etc. So that's what we're going to get on with today, and go from there. Now I think out of all the comments, a lot of the answers I got were all about things in general, but I do remember one specific comment about what next, and somebody said the JCB on the low loader. So yes, we'll do that next because it's the next easiest. I got quite a lot of comments about this. Still haven't decided which way we're going to go, but it was good reading everybody's opinion on it. There seemed to be a consensus on the class 31 of doing it with the green and the white stripe. That was kind of where I was going with it as well. So I think that's going to be where we will end up with that. But yeah, we'll do the bulldozer job next, just because it's nearly there, and I'll probably go for that, I think, after this, because I really want this thing finished. I bought it because nobody else would have, and all I've done is let it sit there and paint it 15 times in God knows how many colours, and stripped it about 15 times as well. So let's stop talking, Paul, and get on with the work. So it's the next day for me and about half a second for you. So where are we at right now? Well, I did say that we were going to finish the cranes. We're nearly there. But also yesterday I did get the transfer set onto the Shark van at last. I put some lanterns on it, white facing forward, red back. Changed the couplings into Hornby Buckeyes, as you can see there. As you can see, it has had a tiny bit of weathering, but not a lot. So it's going to get some extra weathering on today, very seconds away. So we'll put that there. So how did we get on with the cranes? Well, they're all transferred up. So this one here, 20T, is just a marker of the tonnage it would take. We made by me. We've got data panel on there, just a random data panel. Doesn't matter because there's nothing written on it. That one I have multiple sets of data panels, black with white writing, white with black writing, and I also have some red ones for some reason. We put the crane numbers. Can you see, is that focused or not? Wow, these cameras are crap, aren't they? So we've got a carriage number on there, which I said I'll look that up, and then on the back end and the front we did keep clear on the yellow panels. You can see that my homemade wasp stripes worked out pretty well. So basically they were a little bit, I measured the top to bottom, but I left this, got it stuck on, and then later on just trimmed along that edge there to take it off. So yeah, these are ready to go. Also with the Hornby Buckeye couplings. The only thing about these Buckeyes that I'm not thoroughly impressed with, if I can show it here, yeah, it depends which way around you've put them in as to how well they actually connect. So there, so that's connected. I am going to have an issue with this one, because this is the Porterhouse Engineering knuckle coupling, or I think I will. Let's just see, just out of interest. Oh no, it's connected. I was a bit concerned yesterday that where I've deliberately put the Porterhouse ones on, for these, you know, things that are a bit longer than that, shall we say, that they might not connect to this, and I'd have an issue with coupling up. But as you can see, it's worked out quite well. Let me just see if, let me put that there. Now, one of the guys in a previous video had said, can we see how the Porterhouse look? Well, if you look down there, you can see that the coupling stays straight, still well connected despite what angle I've got this at. So because this is longer than regular, that's why I put the Porterhouse ones on the end, just because of the fact of, because it's slightly longer and it doesn't have a twist and bogey. I thought if we put the knuckle couplings on, then if we're on a second radius, if you like, which we're not planning to, then it's always going to have a good solid grip. Whereas, let's see what this one looks like. So this is just the Hornby Buckeye. Now the first thing I'm going to say is this: the magnet is holding it together, whereas on this one, which you've just seen, one finger, look how I can twist that there, just to prove the point. One finger, okay, and it's still connected. And I've just pulled off my wasp stripe. Brilliant. Obviously wasn't on properly. Whereas this one, then it's put it in the same orientation. Sorry, I'm bouncing around here. One finger, okay. Look what happens. The whole thing wants to move, which makes me think on second radius. And I'll be honest, if I could be bothered to take all that crap off there, I'd show you that on the track. But that kind of backs up what I'm saying about using the Porterhouse for slightly longer that might pull a little on the couplings. These little ones shouldn't matter, but look at that. That concerns me. I know they've been proven and everything else. I'm just saying that for me, that is so much better because of the fact that it can move freely. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my weathering powders out. I'm going to reattach this transfer that for some reason has come adrift. I'm going to get my weathering powders out. We are going to run the camera and I'm going to show you how I weather, because I don't have any method or special tricks or anything else like that. I literally put my powders down, have a look and decide what colour I'm going to put where, and see what comes out, and at the end of the day, if it doesn't look right, clear it off and start again. But I don't look for a method. I'm literally looking to just see, do I like that? Does it make sense to me? And that's how I do it. So let me get my gear out and we'll come back to you. Right, so we've got all our lids off. I do this every time because I like to just look and think, I'll have some of that, I'll have some of that, I'll have some of that. Wet wipe here, what you'll find if you've never used weathering powders before, they're quite strong. So when you put your brush in, be careful how much you dip in, because the minute you hit that, you're gonna have a big splodge of it straight away. So I keep a wet wipe handy, maybe just to tap the end a little bit if I think it might be too much. And also you'll see me doing this from time to time if I'm gonna change colour. Sometimes I won't. I generally will do that if let's say I'm going for white and I want it to show white. I'll quickly do that if I've just used a darker colour. So first of all, we're going to start with this, the shark fan. So I tend to work top down. So first things first, let's have a little bit of smoke. Now try and remember that things on roofs, I know you've all heard this probably a million times, and I'm going to say it again now, that anything on the roof will fall from side to side and not front to back, just because the roof's curved, obviously. So I'm reasonably happy with that. It's knocked it down a bit, but I'd like a little bit of something else. So now it's, for me, it's like, where do I want to go next? I think I'm going to go too much. See what like I said, got to be careful with these colours. So I'm just very gently pulling a little bit. Now I've knocked off too much. So you can see there where I hit it first, it went on too heavy. So in this case, all I'm going to do is just pull it back a little bit and then just get some in there. I just want the illusion of it isn't just smoke. I want a little bit of dirt on there, or what could look like underlying rust. So that's all I'm doing to that. I'm not doing nothing more to that roof. I'm happy with that. I said all along I didn't want a lot of mess on this one. I want it to be relatively clean. I'm just going back into the brown again, just for a bit of a dusting. Again, not heavy. Want to be able to see some of this stuff. Now I can get away with putting this on here because I've repainted these models. If you've got something that's all shiny and brand new, you're going to find that your powders are not going to stick as well as they maybe should. So if that's the case, you can combat that by applying some matte varnish. Matte varnish really helps it to stick. So as an example, you see how shiny this thing is when we get on to finishing that. Before that gets any weathering powders, it's going to get matte varnish, because that shiny gloss top will not hold weathering powder at all. If you got matte paint, you're pretty good. But other than that, nah, not a chance. Right, so now we're on the sides. Now as you can see, I hope, I've already painted all of that lot in sleeper grime or frame dirt, whichever. I can never remember which is which. So we're just gonna mucky the sides up a little bit, what I'm looking for is a little bit of relief in the boards, so you can actually see that they are tongue and groove. We're going to hit the edge of this a little bit so it looks a little bit weather worn, and in some respects you kind of, sometimes you're putting this in and then sometimes you're taking it back out, so just push it in to where you want it. And I'm comfortable with that. It looks relatively clean, but it looks relatively clean, but it's not over the top. So again, now I could try a little bit of black, which for the sake of this video we'll do it, because that would probably highlight it, the boards even more. Right, I've gone too much on that, so see, again with the wet wipe here, I obliterated that panel just a little too much. Not comfortable with it being obliterated that far, so we're just gonna touch the wet wipe. Now this is where I've really got to be careful, because black, obviously by its very nature, can be quite strong. But what we're looking for here, we hope, if I push it in, I don't know whether you can hear me that, depending on what device you're listening on and how good your hearing is, but every now and again I'm just blowing at it, just to blow off any excess powder that's lying around. I think this black is doing what I want it to. And again, it's adding a little bit of that, it doesn't look old and ratty, but at the same time doesn't look like it's just come straight out of the factory, which is obviously what we definitely don't want. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. I don't feel the need, I don't think, to do anything else. Maybe, again, this is like I've already said to you, I do it by eye. It's not a plan. I don't come at it with a goal, it just get it on. So I'm thinking that maybe we might have a little bit of the red in here. Yeah, I'm liking that. Carefully get a little bit inside this step. So there you go. Just a little tiny touch of red, just to give that hint of rust. We'll do the ploughs a little bit as well. Now obviously the other thing you've got to think about as well when you're doing this kind of thing is that it needs to be sealed in afterwards. So the biggest tip I can give you, and again not wanting to teach you to suck eggs here, biggest tip I can give you is when you put your varnish on, go easy. I will be using a spray can because I have some spray left. I will eventually switch to the what the hell is it called? Spray thing? Airbrush. I will eventually switch to an airbrush. I have got one, I've never used the damn thing yet. So there you go, that's me. I'm happy with that. I'm glad with how it looks. It still looks okay. It still looks in relatively good order, but it looks like it's in working order. And for the sharp-eyed amongst you, you might notice that there's a crew member in each end. So that's it, I'm done with that. Happy, more than happy. So, a crane. Let's get a crane in and let's see if I can zoom you in a bit more. I think I'm at full view. Or am I? There we go. So, let me move that to one side because that's just about where I want to be. So I'm going to start bottom here because there's not really a roof as such to deal with. So we're going to hit in with some red here and there. Again, no plans, no specifics. It's just what I'm happy with. I'm good with that so far. I've not got no problem with that. I'll be putting a little bit, after it's vanished, a little bit of black paint over the axle boxes, and they'll be touched over with a tiny bit, and I do mean a tiny bit, of gloss varnish, because I want them to obviously look like oil. So happy with how this is going so far, but I think that's enough of that colour. So what are we going to do next? Well, I think I'm going to go back to grey again, or in this case rather smoke, and I'm just going to put a little bit on this jib. I just want to change up the colours a little bit. I don't want it, you know, just black. So we're gonna put a little bit of this smoke everywhere. It's basically, we're just toning down the black. It's as simple as that. I just want to tone this black down a little bit, because I did say when I started these, oh, I don't want them all black, and then I changed my mind like I always do. So I just want to bring them down a little bit. Just show them as being a little distressed. We don't want them hugely distressed. I think grey is probably the right one for these. I don't see any need to be. Sorry folks, battery died as I was finishing that crane, but to give you an idea, all we've done is hang on, one thing I need to do is to figure out how to get my lighting better. So I knocked back this. It was a little bit too red, and I think it still is if I'm honest, so bear with me. I'm still not happy with it, so it's going to be copious amount of black now because I don't like it. That's better. When I was talking earlier about the varnish and going easy with the varnish, yes, you do need to go easy with the varnish, because this stuff will either A, blow off, or B, turn into some form of paint which will all blend together, and all the different colours that you've put in won't make a heap of the difference anymore. So just be careful on the varnishing side when you get to doing something like this. So this time I'm trying it another way. I'm putting one on and then chucking the black straight over the top, but it gives me a multitude of colours because I've got sleepogram on there already, in advance of. Then we've chucked the red on, and then we've chucked the black on, and for me, yeah, that's kind of worked. Because the red is quite strong, but the black will always knock everything back. But as you can see, I said at the beginning, there is no rhyme, method, pre-planning, reasoning or anything else with my weathering. I will literally throw it on. I don't see any point in most cases in being spectacular or trying to do something in particular, because at the end of the day it's your wagons or whatever it is, and it's how you want it. The whole point of a model railway, as far as I'm concerned, is because you have a love of them, or you had them when you were a child like me, whatever your reason is. But what everyone tends to forget is it's your railway. So surely if it's your railway, then that means it should be how you want it. So when you get these people who start bellowing on, oh, it wasn't real, that's not prototypical, blah de blah de, who cares? Who cares whether it's real or not? The simple fact is, it's your railway. So if you want to do something different, well then just go ahead and do it. So like obviously I have no pictures of these two cranes in this particular colour at all. It's just I started off with an idea of what I roughly wanted to do, what I was aiming for, and I went for it. Do I care if somebody disagrees with me? Not really, but if you start chomping the bit and whining on about it's not prototypical, yeah, then I'll care. Because then I just think, hang on a bit mate, whose railway is this? Mine, not yours. So give your head a shake, get a grip, and go and bother somebody that gives them monkeys. There's far too many people out there on YouTube who are worried about what other people, sorry folks, who are worried about what other people are going to think and will have to say about how they have chosen to put their railway together. Well, I've just said it and I'm going to say it again. It's yours. It's your railway, not theirs. And I'm pretty sure that most people, I would say especially the guys who are watching and comment on my channel, are not the type of people to start saying to them, you've done that wrong, you should have done this, you should. No, I can't see it. Yes, we know they're out there. We know there's lots and lots of keyboard warriors who likes to bang on. Let them. Who cares? Who cares what they think? So, there you go. You've seen me prattling about with me weathering powder. Make sure you put it away straight away, because if you're anything like me, i.e. clumsy, it won't be long before you'll knock one of these over and it will be everywhere. And it's not easy to clean up. If you look at the state of my desk, you can see when you wipe it, that powder turns into a liquid, and before you know it, it looks like you just painted all over your mat. So, we're going to call them done. I'm happy with them. The only other thing I can show you is spraying them, but what's the point? You know, you're not going to see now, you're going to be looking at a clear liquid heading towards the models. So I'm going to give them 10 minutes or so to dry off, for them to settle down, sorry. 10 minutes or so to settle down, and then I'm going to, oh God, awful, look at it. And you think that it didn't look like there was that much powder on the desk, but look at the mess that it makes. So it might not be the cleanest method, if I'm honest, for weathering your vehicles. However, for me personally, it's how I've always done it. And so, finally, I've finished something. Well, technically, I've finished 3 things, because I've done 2 cranes, and I've finished my shark fan as well. Go me. So, there you go. 1, 2, 3, and technically 4. Even though you can't see it, because I'm not looking at where the bloody camera is. So there you go. Finished 4 things, although that one was finished. I'm cheating with that. Right at the very end, when I've sprayed these things, I'm going to put a picture on right at the end of the cranes in the shark van when they've been sprayed, with the slings on that I made out with a jewellery kit from Amazon. So, because this will be the last time I'm talking today, and everybody thinking, thank God for that. I'm going to say farewell. Thank you very much for watching. Have a look at the end, see what you think of the slings. But thanks for watching, and as always, chuck some comments on if you have any opinions or anything else. We'll catch you again soon. Bye for now.